Well, another week, another episode of the news. Let's get into it. Before we get into it, reminder to sign up for the Film Club, where you get exclusive videos, early access to other videos, direct conversations with me, voting on thumbnails, and much more. Enough of the Red Dead 2 voice. Let's get into it. Needless to say, the last couple weeks has been quite some big ones for film, and this week, surprisingly, is no different. There's a lot to talk about, so let's jump right into it. I'm sure at this point you've seen that Lomography just recently released a 200 ISO film in addition to this new KodaColor film. Now, I figured this surely had to be Color Plus, and because of the new KodaColor, we'd see the original Color Plus be fully replaced by this and that KodaColor, but that doesn't seem to be the case as of now. Lomography mentions that it's a new 2025 emulsion, and since we know Lomography doesn't have the means of creating a new emulsion themselves, it seems like it's another way to shoot this NC200 film, which currently is not available from Orwell yet, but like we've talked about a good amount previously, it is available in Opticolor and Kono, and this is seemingly just the same as that. Now, normally I'm all on board for pretty much any new film that's coming out, regardless of what the film emulsion is, but for this one, I do wish that Lomography just kind of came out and said what it was. I understand that's not Lomography's general vibe, but all these film brands selling film under the guise of new film to customers who realistically don't really know any better just feels a bit bleh. But I guess it's one of those situations where don't hate the player, hate the game. Lomography is just a pawn in the grand scheme of things, after all. Quote, every frame has a light, almost translucent feel. Lomography promises, at least when shooting in bright daylight scenes. When shooting on cloudy days or in darker conditions, the color palette shifts towards earthy tones with more muted colors. Lomography also claims its new color negative film features a medium grain structure and rich detail. The company describes the film as highly versatile, indicating that it should be especially well suited for portraits, snapshots, and travel photography alike. Truth be told, if you want to see this film, I'll link the Opticolor review up there because it has a good variety of portraits, landscapes, lifestyles, etc., and it's the same film. Another noteworthy thing is that we'll be seeing this in 120, just like Opticolor medium format stuff, which personally I liked a lot more than the 35mm. But Lomography did send me a roll of the 35mm version, so I'll be sure to make a video and see how that compares to the Opticolor, and yeah, we'll go from there. Truth be told, at the end of the day, this is a good thing despite how much I wish Lomo would just tell us what it is. Having this NC200, which is a great new emulsion, be widely available by the likes of Lomography, who has reach all across the world, is a good thing, and yeah, it's great to see more and more different film be accessible to everyone. Next, the Knokke film scanner, which we chatted about some episodes ago, released some more info about it as well as a Kickstarter. The Kickstarter or crowdfunding campaign will start in early 2026 for €999. After that, it will have an MSRP of €1,600, though they say that in the longer term, they will try to push that price down if possible. Supposedly, it can scan a full roll of 35mm film in under 5 minutes, and at, according to them, 4000 DPI and 48-bit. It comes with its own software, which is open source and can convert your negatives to positives or just export negative DNG files. There is no IR dust removal, which is disappointing, though they say there will be some hardware dust removal. Not sure what that means. Maybe there's some type of brushes or some physical equipment like that. It'll be able to scan all different lengths of films, like panoramic formats, and it's apparently repairable, and they'll release repair manuals and some spare parts with it, which I think is probably one of the coolest parts of it. Honestly, for $1,000, other than not having IR dust removal, it feels like a pretty good product. And while yes, purchasing something brand new from a new company like this is definitely a bit risky, they seem pretty serious about making a product that's going to stand the test of time, which is one of my biggest things with modern film equipment. The design and look of it is killer, and if they can truly connect the dots on things they're promising for the price point, it seems super legit. I'll see if I can snag a marketing version or prototype to test out for the channel if possible. Otherwise, stay tuned for more info or stuff on this coming soon. Okay, so next, as you know, Kodak recently released this new KodaColor 100 and KodaColor 200, and over the last handful of days, we've gotten more and more info coming out from different people that are shooting the film. Well, nothing's been really confirmed, but KodaColor is still hypothesized to be that Color Plus, and 100 is still quite a bit of a mystery. The assumption was that it was Pro Image 100, but personally, I'm not convinced that it's not just VR 100, an old film emulsion that Kodak used to sell. While to my knowledge, there hasn't been any concrete evidence showing what it is, but recently got my hands on some, and I'm hoping Justin from the Midwest Film Lab and I can get to the bottom of it, so stay tuned for that. Regardless, the film is selling out worldwide and getting quite a bit of buzz on social media, which is good to see, and it's good to see Eastman getting the rights back to sell their own film. Hopefully we'll be seeing more and more of this coming in the future, which again hopefully means more film emulsions from Kodak to us. Next up, Light Lens Lab, which has recently been in the news quite a bit, mostly for their development of new black and white film, color film, and even peel apart film. Well, it just recently released news that they're working on a screw mount Barnack style film camera based on an early Leica. As per photorumors.com, photos of the camera leaked, but supposedly some photos have been available since 2022, but most people had just missed it and has recently since been brought back up. The camera appears to be a Barnack style design, which features a removable base plate for film loading, which continued through to cameras such as the Leica M6 and beyond. The camera has not been officially announced by Light Lens Lab, most likely with all the current progress on their film, so maybe take some of this with a grain of salt. Perhaps we'll see this come to life, but also perhaps this never sees the light of day because their current film project just has taken precedent and more important stakes, which is fair, honestly. That's pretty much all we got for news on the camera, and while it looks pretty sweet, I don't think it's the camera for me, but definitely super cool to see more and more new cameras coming out in the coming years. Which, speaking of new cameras, we got a new camera from Suzuki, like the motorcycle company. Suzuki Handmade Camera Factory in Japan is currently developing a new LTM rangefinder film camera and seemingly has been in the work for the last couple of years. On LeicaRumors.com, it shows a pretty detailed plan, which I'll link in the description if you want to check that out. From 2021 up till October of 2024, they've been designing and sourcing materials for the project, and supposedly they have a prototype. We just haven't seen it yet, which no specifics are noted other than a little shutter dial which goes up to 1/1000th of a second. The camera looks like a Contax G or some type of rangefinder, so I'm curious to see what it'll end up being and what type of lenses it'll end up shooting. The project remains in active prototyping and fabrication stage, with the solo developer based in Japan building toward a premium mechanical 35mm camera. No full production or release timeline announced just yet. Okay, Suzuki? I don't know, chat. What are you thinking? This feels just strange, and it feels even stranger that there's supposedly a prototype out there somewhere, but we just haven't heard anything about it until a full calendar year later. I don't know. Seems a bit mysterious and, I don't know, unrealistic, I guess, in my mind. But hey, if we get any other updates and if I find anything else more about it, you guys will be the first to know, so stay tuned for that. Alright, next up, I guess some time ago we got some new Kodak chemistry that was teased, but wasn't available yet, but should be coming out soon. It's E6 chemistry that looks like it's also going to be 6-step and not a Blix kit, which I personally don't know a ton about chemistry, but evidently this is a really good thing. It retails for $120 for 5 liters, and they're currently taking pre-orders, so maybe a decent upgrade to your chemistry this winter if that interests you. From what I've seen, the volume of chemicals that this makes is a really good deal, so if you're someone who develops at home, definitely look into this, as I think it could be, hopefully, saving you some money. One thing of note is that Kodak doesn't actually make this themselves. A company in Michigan makes it using Kodak formulas, but they're a high quality chemical company making chemicals for a handful of different huge companies, so they're definitely trustworthy. Pretty good deal and news for all the film chemists out there. Next up, Paul Thomas Anderson's most recent film has been shot entirely on VistaVision 35mm film, a larger horizontal format that was invented in the 1950s to capture higher resolution and more texture. The film was then released in VistaVision alongside 70mm film and IMAX. But I'm sure you're asking, why is this relevant to still film photography? Well, one battle after another is the first new film in over 60 years to be released in true VistaVision, making a significant comeback for the format, which hopefully we continue to see this trickle-down effect which causes film photography to get more and more popular. There's also a photo of Paul Thomas Anderson on set with his Leica SP2005, a limited edition reissue, $4,500 camera that isn't repairable because it's not interchangeable with the older Nikon rangefinders. Pretty baller, but I guess somewhat to be expected from a legend like Paul Thomas Anderson himself. Okay, and last but certainly not least, as part of an ongoing celebration for the Leica 1, the first commercially available 35mm camera, Light's Photographic Auction is putting a collection of dynamic photographs up for sale in a special auction called Motion. The auction takes place at the end of the month at the Leica Gallery, Vienna, while highlighted lots from the auction will be on display at the same gallery starting on October 17th. While Leica is rightfully celebrating 35mm photography this year to mark Leica 1's lasting impact, the Motion auction also includes some large format prints. For example, Edward Weston, a celebrated figure in the large format community and co-founder of Group F64, created one of his most famous photographs, Nude Study, in 1925. That vintage print will be on offer and is expected to fetch as much as $300,000. Sheesh! 300 grand? Man, hopefully my photos become part of history and my children's children can benefit from some of my boring photos. Motion will feature many other famous images, including work from iconic early photographers like Ansel Adams, Walker Evans, Manuel Bravo, Ruth Bernhard, August Sander. Leica notes that influential war photographers will also be featured. And the online catalog for the motion photo auction is available online, and pre-bidding has already begun. The auction itself starts on October 30th at 6 p.m. See you guys there. Who am I kidding? We both know we're way too broke to show up to this. So yeah, maybe we can attend virtually. But otherwise, it's going to wrap it up for all the news, guys. Let me know down in the comments which news you thought was the most interesting this week. Let me know if there's anything that I missed, or if you guys have any special projects that you've been working on that should be reported on in the next news episode. And yeah, thank you guys so much for the support with all these videos, as always, and until the next one.